Morales.
All right. Thank you for that great introduction. I am Mr. Morales. Again, we're on the last part of the Unit 13. We're going to be doing what we call MAD. MAD stands for Mean Absolute Deviation. So make sure you're on the last page of your packet, which should look something like this, number 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the mean. We're going to find the mean absolute deviation. We're going to find the standard deviation and the variance. If you need to here beside this one, you can put SD for standard deviation if you want to. Now, what we have to do first is we're going to enter this data into our calculator. With that, it'll give us your mean, the standard deviation. We can figure out the variance from there, and then we're going to figure out the mean absolute deviation. So turn the calculators on, and first we're going to go to Stat, Edit. You're going to enter in those numbers from problem number 1. Now I've already done it, so if you need to hit pause in the video and do it yourself, you may do so at this time. Now that you have entered the numbers into the calculator, you want to make sure your stat plot is on. So you're going to hit second and y equals, and you're going to hit enter, enter. So hopefully everybody's done that already? Good. And then you also want to make sure the box and whisker plot is on. So you go to the right, go down, and you go over there, and just hit enter again, and make sure that part is on. Once you've done that, now we're going to go to calculate. Now don't forget, we're going to go to Stat. Everybody should go to Stat. Go over to Calc. And remember, there's only one column of numbers. So because there's only one column of numbers, we have what we call a one variable stat. So again, please keep that in mind when you're doing this problem. So we're going to hit enter at number 1, and then you want it to calculate. Now, here, the first part is your mean. So go ahead on your paper, number 1. I believe you had the mean there, the symbol for mean. Go ahead and fill it in. That's that little, the little wiggly M there. Looks like that. That is your mean. Okay? And beside that, if you want, write the word mean. That way you know that symbol stands for the mean. Then you have, if you skip one, you have the standard deviation, which is right there. And if you want to, again, make a note in your calculator that in your calculator, your standard deviation is known by this symbol here. Okay? And I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So this will put me at 2.3. So in your blank there, make sure you put 2.3 for your standard deviation. So you skip a line, and where it says SD, you put 2.3. Now, in order for us to find the variance,
What goes on the mean absolute?
hold on, we haven't done that one yet. We skipped that one. That's going to be the last one we do.
Wow.
Now, in order for us to find the standard deviation, the variance, you're going to square the standard deviation. So, in parentheses, you're going to put 2.3. What was your standard deviation? 2.3?
Yeah.
So 2.3 square, and then parentheses square, and you hit enter. So now where your variance is, your blank where it says variance, you'll put 5.29. My suggestion though is write down how you got that. Put in your blank, maybe put this on the outside of the blank, beside the answer.
Thank you.
So you have the mean, which we stated was, what did you get for the mean?
6.5.
6.5, thank you. The standard deviation, we got 2.3. And then the variance, you got what?
5.29.
5.25. Now we're going to find
29.
that.
29.
29, thank you. Now we're going to find the mean absolute deviation. And the way it works is you're going to take every single one of these numbers and you're going to subtract it from the mean. which is 6.5. So on your paper, write this down. Somewhere in your space beside here, so you got 3 minus 6.5, 4 minus 6.5, 5 minus 6.5. Alright. Let me see, I have room up here. 7 minus 6.5. 8 minus 6.5. And again, you just keep finding the room. You should have room on the right, because I did on the paper. Just start up here. 9 minus 6.5 and 10. Okay? Alright, so turn your calculators on and let's do 3. What's 3 minus 6.5?
Negative 3.5.
Alright, keep going. So what is 4 minus 6.5? Is that negative 2.5? Is that right? Is it right?
Yes.
And then 5, this is negative 1.5, negative 0.5. Is it 0.05 or 0.5? So you should be doing this on your paper. Doing the subtraction from each one. 7 minus 6.5 is 0.5, right? 8 would be 1.5, 9 would be, what is it, 2.5, and then 3.5. Once you have found, now again, we're doing the mean absolute deviation. So we took every data and we subtracted from the mean. That's where the deviation comes in. Now we have to do the absolute. So every number that are negatives, what are the absolute values of those numbers? The positives, right? Very good. And so now you're going to find the mean of those. So I'm going to put it in blue here. So in your calculator, you're going to have 3.5, 2.5, 1.5, 0.5. These are going to be positives. So all of these. I want you to find the mean of all those numbers. So go ahead and do that now. You can do it 2 ways. You can either put them under stacked, put all the numbers in just like we did, and it gives you the mean. Or you can add them all up and do what?
Divide by 4.
All right. So right now, make it happen. Go for it. I'm going to do it by stat because that's just easier for me. So I'm going to hit stat, edit, go up, clear, down. And so I'm going to put my numbers in. 3.5, enter, 5, enter, 1.5, enter. If I make a mistake, let me know. Then I have 1.5, enter. Is that them? So 3.5, 2.5, 1.5, 0.5.
You have to do both stuff.
Say it again?
You have to do both, like, all.
Nope, just the one. Yes.
Well, I mean, like, you can't just enter one set of them in.
You can. Yeah, well, you have to do just the ones that you subtracted and the absolute value of them.
Okay, so it would be all of them.
Correct. So then you hit stat, go over to calc, and then enter, enter, enter. And so the mean of the absolute deviation is 2.2. You can say 2.2, which is fine. Which is right here, 2.2. Now, what I want you to do is we're going to try number 2 on your own, and I'll help you with it. And for you that are watching the video, so again, one more time, you go into stat. The stat will give you the mean, will give you the standard deviation. You double that to get the variance. You take every single data item and you subtract it from the mean. You find the absolute value. Then you find the mean of all of those. Yes, it's a lot of work. This is a lot of steps. But once you do several of them, it is not a problem. Thank you and have a great day.
Awesome.